Alrighty, everyone. What a day, what a day, what a day. Welcome back to the front office report. I have taken a small hiatus, but I am back to join these two lovely gentlemen who have held the fort for so long, alongside Seb, who unfortunately could not join us today. Gabo, Dan, how are you feeling?
Great, it's Sunday. I mean, Dan and I
The
have
best
been
day of the week, baby.
loving these days.
Yeah,
Whether we lose money or we make money, we're still enjoying it.
we've
So,
only lost money thus far. I feel like.
okay, can we please get it out of the way? I'm sorry, Dan, but last night I cannot believe that bet went
I really
the way it did.
Yeah.
That is unreal. So,
So
just
maybe
context.
Gabo, just provide some context, maybe.
Do you want to give the context, or do you want me to give the
No,
context?
no,
in
take
my
it
own-
away. Take it away.
You can go for it. Yeah.
So basically, this guy had a college football bet. Everything was going well. I keep reading the chats. Everything going well. The only thing they needed was, I think it was Oregon to beat
Oregon.
Stanford.
Yeah. We'd gone 5 for 5 at that point. Oregon was our last one. And Oregon are number 3 in the country, ranked number 3. Stanford are not ranked. Oregon are supposed to be like a favorites to go to the college football playoffs. This should have been. They beat Ohio State. Oregon beat Ohio State somehow, and Stanford is a nothing team, and it should have been easy.
From what I understand, Stanford took the game leading, and then Oregon came back, and Oregon actually took the lead towards the end in the fourth quarter. I think it was with like 2 or 3 minutes left.
2 minutes 30.
And 2 minutes 30, and Stanford just came back with stupid penalties from Oregon. Got there, got the last second touchdown, went to overtime. It just felt like, and then Stanford obviously took the win in
That's
overtime.
unreal.
It just felt like, honestly, I was telling him, Vegas called him. It's like, yo, the money is on us losing. Let's drop the game now.
Yeah,
Seriously.
Dan might actually win money. Oh my God! Like we can't let that happen.
I know, literally, they're out for me, man. It's I couldn't believe it, man. I
Hopefully-
couldn't believe it.
Yeah. Hopefully that luck turns into all. It's been back to back. That Dan is so close. He's so far with Justin Tucker almost winning you like 20
Last
grand or
week
something.
was $12,000. So this week, I'm sure someone will do something stupid to screw me then as well. So
Real.
whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we've been over.
we've been having
Just in
heart
pain.
pains. Yeah, heart
Yeah,
pain.
it's just pain. Just high anxiety and like a elevated heart rate. Just supposedly people watch football to relax. Watch sports in general. Take it easy. Just Dan and Gabo. Just that meme with the veins of the guy coming out of class. Just like please, just
Literally.
fucking score.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
But so on that topic, we figured now as a bigger collective would go through some of the odds coming into Sunday Night Football.
Yep.
Talk about our logic and our reason behind the picks we were about to take. If you're watching, please feel free to share your thoughts with us in the chat. Would love to hear them. Prove us right. Tell us we're dumbasses. The choice is yours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So last week, Ben and I did this for the spreads, and we actually did pretty well. I think we did 10 out of 16 or 11 out of 16. I can't remember. But
It was 10 because we didn't do I don't think we did the Monday night game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe we didn't do Thursday.
Oh, it's Thursday. Yeah, we missed Thursday, obviously. Yeah.
Anyways, apparently, according to Dan, better than Barstools. Shout out.
We've been better than almost every betting expert thus far. I have not seen anyone with a better record than us, so we just have to keep this percentage high. We're sitting at 66.6666%, so we need to keep it going. Let's get it higher. Let's get it up into the 70s.
Just trust us, guys. Just or partially trust us. We'll get you like 95% of the way there, and then
let
the
you
other
down.
5% let you down. Exactly.
So we should start with the first game of the week.
Rules are simple. Whatever odds there is, we're probably going to use the same ones. Should be Vegas last minute, obviously. So either one or the other, there's no adjustment to the spread. We're just going to have to pick one.
Yeah.
So the first one that I have here in my list would be Carolina Panthers at Dallas. The spread is +4 for Panthers, -4 for Cowboys. What do you guys think?
Oh, this one's actually it feels a little bit trappy because it feels kind of low for the Cowboys considering they've beaten so many high-power teams, but then again the Panthers are also unbeaten, so it's like that plus forward for the Panthers kind of looks juicy, but then again, they don't have Christian McCaffrey. So I'm inclined just on that basis that they don't have CMC. I know Chuba Hubbard is pretty good, but he is not Christian McCaffrey. He's not the number one fantasy pick, if you want to put it that way. I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys -4.
You think, Omar?
Yeah, so it's just to build upon what Dan said, the Panthers actually have one of the best defenses in the league right now. Specifically, actually, the run defense. Their run defense has been incredible. Not that Zeke is being leveraged much by the Cowboys offense this year. Like, I mean, he has his runs and whatever, but honestly, we have a mini Tony Pollard fan club here who's actually at times been more efficient than Zeke. But regardless of those two tandem, you know, the Panthers are, I don't think they have enough grit in them to out-grit the Cowboys, if that makes sense. I mean, the Cowboys themselves, their defense has been very good. There's that cornerback, his name has slipped my mind. He's gotten like an interception in every game or every other game.
Yeah, I can't remember his name either.
I can't remember his name either. So, like, it's not like the Cowboys' defense is lackluster.
Yeah,
I just think with Dak, I mean, Dak is a better quarterback than Sam Darnold. Like, if you were to think about it, if the game is tied, like, and there's 4 minutes left, so, you know, each team can have a drive, who do you think would win?
Yeah. 100%.
Right.
And also, I think the Dallas Cowboys also have more options on offense. Their wide receiver core is absolutely stacked. Their running backs are absolutely stacked. Obviously, they have one of the best quarterbacks in the league as well. It's like, it's a perfect team. And their tight end also. I think Dak is pretty decent. Coming off an injury, he's been pretty decent.
Okay.
And their tight ends are pretty good. So I'm just more inclined to go with the Dallas Cowboys here -4.
Actually, so just one last comment before we move on. I feel my prayers, my apologies to every single Michael Gallup fantasy owner out there. The guy has become so redundant and youth and irrelevant.
Now that you said that, he's probably going to put up like 3 touchdowns.
I mean, I feel bad because he's a good player. But anyways, my condolences. All right, up next, Gabo.
Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, my thoughts super quickly. I also think Cowboys -4, and for me, it's more the home advantage. I think I said it before in our stream earlier this week. The Cowboys look scary at home. Elliott looks scary at home. Dak looks scary at home. So yeah. And on top of that, McCaffrey out. I just don't see Carolina scoring much here. Anyway, I know DJ Moore was a little banged up after the last game, so we'll see how he's back. But yeah, all right, let's lock it in -4 for the Panthers. Next up, we have Kansas City Chiefs at Philadelphia. Kansas City with a -7, and Philadelphia obviously +7. Thoughts, Omar?
Look, logically, this is a KC win, right? By every measure of the imagination, this is them winning. But the fact that they're 1-2, the fact that they are like just underperforming. Honestly, it can go either way. It can either be a further slippery slope and just like their system for some reason is being picked out by defenses this year, or like this is the redemption game and they're gonna like it's not gonna be a spread of -7. It's gonna be a spread of like -13.5. So yeah, I'm just playing devil's advocate. I would still go with KC. But I also would not be like completely shocked and surprised if it's one of those games that like makes you lose bets like that, right? Like that, it shouldn't be happening. It doesn't make sense on paper, but for some reason, the Eagles can take it. But however, for the argument's sake, I'll go KC -7.
What do you think, Dan?
That makes sense. I mean, personally, today on my own bet, I have put Kansas City money line just because I don't trust them against the spread at the moment. But again, the Philadelphia Eagles look absolutely awful. I don't think they look very convincing at all. Kansas City don't either, but they have proven players. Eagles are very much unproven in almost every facet of the game, whereas Kansas City are, previous Super Bowl winners, go to the Super Bowl pretty much every year. This is a game they have to win. I feel like you can't be going down 1-3 because then your division is going to be really difficult to kind of like claw their way out of that hole. So I think this is a statement game for them. Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce really were non-factors last week. Let's see if they put up the big numbers today. So I'm going -7.
I agree with you. I feel like just to be safe, I would put the money line on this. But 100%. If you have to pick, it's just like if it would be any other team, maybe I'd be inclined for the +7. But the Eagles just don't look good.
Yeah, they don't.
Defense-wise and offense-wise, they just don't look good. So I do agree. It might be a redemption game for Chiefs, so they might come out swinging. So I don't know.
Let's hope so.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised with like a 14-point lead or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right, easy peasy. Next up, we have. Let's do Cleveland Browns and Minnesota Vikings. This is essentially a money line. It's Cleveland Browns -1, Vikings +1. I'll go ahead and start.
Yeah, let's say you can start us off.
We have Dalvin Cook confirmed to play, so that's good. At least for the Vikings fans and for Dalvin Cook owners. I don't know if he's gonna play limited, but this is gonna be a hell of a running heavy game. It is in Minnesota. So I do believe with Dalvin Cook back, Kirk playing the way he has, I know we talk a lot smack about him, especially me, but he's been playing pretty good. This is a tough one. This really is a tough one. Don't get me wrong. But I think it does come down to the money line, home advantage, and just who has the better skilled player team. And I do believe, I don't know if Vikings are getting Anthony Barr back for linebacker for this week. I don't think so. But if they do, it'll be a next step up there. I'm going to go with Vikings -1. Is it? -1? +1.
Yep, +1.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, because Seb's not here, I guess I feel like I have to kind of really go hard on the Kirk Cousins thing. He is the highest graded quarterback this year so far. So, which is really surprising. It's kind of like an underutilized statistic right now because I think just the aura of Kirk Cousins is negative most of the time. So they do have that. They obviously have Dalvin Cook. They have 2 incredible wide receivers. Also, the Cleveland Browns are not convincing. They only beat the Falcons by... sorry, that was the preseason. Sorry. They lost to the Chiefs by 4. They only beat the Texans by 10. And they only beat the Bears, who were so terrible, by 20, which is okay. But Bears only put up 6. I'm just not convinced entirely on the Browns. And they have yet to really play or win against a good team. They played the Bears and the Texans that they beat. But they lost against the Chiefs. I'm just more inclined to take the Vikings, whether it's money line or +1. It doesn't really matter too much, I guess. So yeah, I'm going for Minnesota. They always keep games close, even though they've lost 2 games. They kept it until the very last second. I think they squeeze it out in this one. I think they finally got that win underneath their belt. I think Vikings are going to come out swinging. It's going to be a tough game for the Cleveland Browns.
Mario, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I think we like to hate on the Vikings when Seb's around just because it's so fun. But look, I think even if Dalvin Cook doesn't play fully, like Madison proved he's a very, very good running back. So even if they, adopt a more 2-man punch approach, kind of like what the Browns are doing,
right,
it's going to be a phenomenal, at least rushing game, right? Which I think in today's NFL is very, very rare now, that like both teams just want to ground and pound the other defense.
Yeah.
I think as Dan was saying, the Browns, the only time they looked convincing was against a rookie quarterback in his first NFL game with a lot of pressure and in arguably one of the worst organizations in the NFL in the form of the Bears.
Worst coach.
So like
in the league.
Worst coach. Oh, for sure. I mean, Gase is no longer a coach, but Gase is pretty up there. Like, I mean, I think when you're bald and you have a bit of stubble, like it automatically classifies you as a bad NFL coach. That's why. Maybe that's what. I mean, to be fair, so is Salah. So maybe just a bold thing. Anyways. I would personally go with the Vikings, and it's not necessarily just because of everything you mentioned. Is the Vikings, as in every single game they've played, even the games they've lost, have been. It was very, very close. It was like a missed field goal
goals,
or like
it's almost every time is like a field goal. It feels like.
And if you look at, more importantly, against which teams they did that for, it was the Bengals, who have been on a very, very hot start and have been fairly well. Like, it's clicking. Yeah. The Cards were like one of the Super Bowl favorites, and they beat the Seahawks, who were also supposedly stacked up. They finally got Russell
start
Wilson
to the season. This is like they must have the hardest like 4-game run, like out of every other team, the Vikings. And if they come through 2-2. That's pretty decent, I think, in my book.
That's pretty decent, yeah.
And I really hope the Vikings use the 2 running backs more. seeing Madison last week, I think he should be getting more run share, more target share and everything, because Dalvin Cook is injured quite frequently, which is concerning. I think you give him a little bit more rest in between each play. Definitely would help overall, I think, and also would help the value of Madison. Like, what happens if you trade away Dalvin Cook and you can keep Madison, like, or trade away Madison, keep Cook? Like, you need to have these guys both playing, I feel like, and I last week was definitely like a huge game for Madison.
That's a huge statement. I do agree. I mean, more teams should adopt this whole Cowboys, Elliott, Tom Pollard mentality. Yeah. I know for fantasy purposes,
the Browns themselves.
Or you can go the Texans way, having like 4 or 5 running backs, just
whoever you can in there. But I know for fantasy purposes, it's gonna suck. But you don't have issues like what happened to Christian McCaffrey, being overused for like 30 touches.
Saquon Barkley the same.
Saquon Barkley, it's like you gotta be smart. I know you're paying a lot to get these players up top, but at the end of the day, if you get them out quick and early, you get an ACL out there, you're done.
That's what kind of worries me about as a Derrick Henry owner. The usage of Derrick Henry is insane, and Najee Harris also, especially as a rookie. But I mean, Derrick Henry has the body to kind of like take those pounds a little bit more than pretty much every other, well, definitely more so than any other running back. But it is a bit worrying how much they are relying on him to kind of like just carry every single down.
to give the Titans credit, they have that McNichols guy who they're using more as who kind of reminds me of Dion Lewis, like a small pass catching running back. And in the offseason, if I remember correctly, they had signed Deontay Foreman, who has that kind of Derrick Henry stature.
Yeah.
But then the guy got injured, so like you're still stuck with like a Dion Lewis kind of guy, but it's very situational, or Derrick Henry. They don't have that depth. So
I think we're all in agreement about the Vikings then.
Yeah.
All going +1.
Yeah. And with that, that's a great segue into the Titans. Let's skip over the Houston Texans for a bit, and let's move in and talk about the Titans facing with the Jets against the Jets in New York. Titans -6.5, Jets +6. It's a very, honestly, low for what everyone should be expecting. I think it's an easy -6. However, I think a lot of it does come into the fact that the Titans don't really have an air game for this game, with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones out. And as we were talking about Derrick Henry being overused, it's scary. I mean, to be fair, I don't see them. If they go ahead like 2 points, three scores, they should just bench Henry and play him out and run the clock other ways. But yeah, I mean, Jets don't know how to score. They don't know how to play football. They can't stop the run. They didn't really stop the run against the Broncos. So Henry's just gonna steamroll over them. I'll take easy -6 for the Titans. Omar, what do you think?
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I don't want to add further to it. I am interested. So I remember when you guys were talking about the Titans game, like with both AJ Brown and Julio being out. If you're a fantasy player, as I guess most people are, go to your waivers right now. Get Westbrook Ikine. He was on form that game. Like, he was already getting shares. He already had that connection with Ryan Tannehill. So the fact that everyone else is out, if you're trying to streamline your wide receivers, he is a great pickup option for this week.
Josh Reynolds too.
They're going to be the 1 and 2 tandem, so might as well go for it, right?
Rodgers has been playing pretty well as well.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I agree and disagree at the same time, because I was the one that pulled out of a bet because Cortland Sutton couldn't get another reception, and he got it pretty much in garbage time. It's just, will they even pass the ball? That's kind of like, will it even happen? So, I mean, if you're in dire need for a wide receiver right now because you lost Julio and AJ Brown, I don't blame pick these guys up immediately and give it a go. But don't expect 20 points from those players. Expect maybe like 10 points or something.
Yeah.
And -6.
Yeah. I mean, so the Jets are 0-3 against the spread and have scored a total of 20 points this season. Like this, I don't care that Julio and AJ are both out. They still have the more competent quarterback, the more competent defense, the best running back in the league, potentially. Everything points to them. The Jets are a mess. This is like my lock of the week, 110%. If you're going to put any money on any game completely against the spread, it's going to be the Titans. I said it last week that they were the lock of the week, and they covered nicely too. Titans again against the Jets. -6 is ridiculously low. This should be like -8, -10 minimum. Jets won't score. I don't even think the Jets will score.
Watch the Jets. Michael Carter just turns to pride. Adrian Peterson just steamrolls.
There's no way. Every stat is against them. Like, there's just no way. There's no way.
17.5 against the Buffalo Bills. Wow, that is a slap in the face.
Yeah. Actually, on mine, it's now up to 18.5. So, I mean, I guess it depends on where you're looking, but this is a crazy line, which is so difficult to predict because it's such a vast number. They need basically like 3 touchdowns or more to cover the spread, which is asking quite a lot. To be honest with you, the Texans have not been that bad for a team that is supposed to be like the worst in the league. They've been competitive every game. I mean, even against the Browns, they only lost by 10, which is not that bad.
With a new quarterback.
With a new quarterback, like, are the Bills that much better than the Browns that they can cover by an extra 8.5 points? I'm not too sure. I would personally stay away from this game. Feels very trappy. Feels too difficult to cover. Doesn't feel like there's any value. If you're going to put any money on, I'd probably put it Texans plus 18.5. I'm going to go Texans plus 18.5. I just think it's too much to cover. I think the Bills will easily win, but I'm not sure that they'll win by 19 points, right?
Omar, what do you think?
Yeah, no, same. I mean, I was immensely surprised when I saw that spread. I mean, I think regardless of Tyrod being back on, I don't think he's back yet. So I think it's like, long neck daddy David Mills.
The giraffe. He could just look over the line and just throw it because he can see.
I don't know. I mean, I think, I think the Texans aren't great, but I don't think they're that bad. Like So you're telling me the Texans have a bigger spread against the Bills than the Jets do against the Titans?
Makes no sense. Yeah,
that makes no sense. But again, as Dan said, it's a trap. But if you like some risk and you see that value, I think this would be it's not as risky of a spread as some actually others out there.
Yeah, and
it's less. For example, it's less risky than the Vikings one.
Right.
And probably have better odds.
So. Let me quickly check what the Texans' scores have been because they played some tricky games and see if they've lost by 18.5. I don't think they have. So they played against the Browns, lost by 10. They beat the Jags handily, won by 16. They lost against the Panthers it ended up being actually 15, so it's pretty close. And then in preseason, they won every single game apart from against the Bucks, which was a loss by 7. So they've lost against the Panthers, but their Panthers are 3-0. Bills also lost against the terrible Steelers. So I just don't see any value. It's too risky. I just would stay away from this game, period. I feel like you're really trying to grab at money here if you're trying to bet on this game.
I think that the spread is just solely based on last week's performances for both teams. I mean, you said it yourself. Texans lost by around 15 points, and the Bills won by more than 20 points against the Washington football team. So I think it's mostly based on that.
Probably.
But this is a numbers game. It's a probability game at this point, and the chances of them covering almost 3 scores is just ridiculous.
And the Texans score every game. They do get that Brandon Cooks. They do get Brandon Cooks involved, Anthony Miller, Mark Ingram. Like, they have decent pieces that can really hurt you. It's not like the Bills' defense is being spectacular. They have a very good, solid defense, but they have, they've lost games. They've let in touchdowns. If this was going to be like, if the Texans were going to score 0, then probably, I think the Bills will probably put up like 21. But I think the Texans are going to score, which means they're going to have to score even more. So I would just, this feels too weird to bet on.
I mean, we're going to have to choose, so let's go for the 17.5 plus Texans. If it were me, I'd do an alternative spread at least and do like +7 or something like that. -7, sorry, Bills. But yeah, I mean, if I had to choose, and I'm assuming we're all in agreement here, we'll go for the 17.5 for the Texans. Cool. Moving on, we got Jacoby Brissett playing against his former team in Miami. So we have the Indianapolis Colts against the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins have the spread at -2.5. Thoughts, Omar? Quick, boom.
Miami. I mean, I think Jacoby's actually one of the most underrated quarterbacks out there. Look, I don't know statistics wise, but just in terms of mechanics, in terms of fundamentals, he does most things right. I think he's just been very unfortunate in the teams that he has played, where the situations for him haven't really panned out. Kind of reminds me of a kind of a Ryan Tannehill, actually, where like it just like things didn't pan out until kind of later in his career and he started finding his flow. I think because this is a revenge game, I think the Colts are just abysmal. Like people need to start I'm more excited about the Jets' future than I am of the Colts, because the Colts have very little very little draft capital. They're stuck with Carson Wentz in this massive contract. Like, it is not looking too good if you're a Colts fan right now, unless
still have Marlon Mack.
I mean, hey, I thought he was. I always thought he was good. I mean, it's unfortunate he got injured last year, but previous to that, he was always a good running back. It's not like he was a bad one. But yeah, to me, Miami, they're finding their flow. Even if defensively they're a bit iffy, offensively they actually play with such fluidity. I was watching them against the Raiders, and the Raiders are a pretty well coached team because of Gruden, and they were able to like have that fluid offense, that 2-minute offense down the field. So I'm taking Miami. Dan?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, Jacoby is not nearly as bad as people make out to be. I mean, he nearly had 250 yards last week against the Raiders, who are a pretty decent defense and a very good team at that. Like, undefeated team, supposed to be one of the best in the league right now. Put them to overtime and won by a field goal. Like, it was an incredibly close game. And the Colts are just not exciting at all on either side of the ball, really. They've got a pretty solid defense, but offensively, they really have nothing aside from like Jonathan Taylor, to be honest, and he hasn't really been anything that special either, unfortunately. So yeah, I think you have to put the money on Miami winning here. -2.5 is pretty good. I was expecting it to be -3.5, to be honest with you, just over that field goal, but 2.5 seems pretty good to me.
Yeah, at home as well.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, I feel like on paper I should pick the Colts for this one, but I do agree with you guys. I mean, I will disagree actually with Omar. I think Miami's defense is actually better than what it seems out to be, and I think it has been improving, and I think it's gonna. Miami's defense is always one of those like mid-tier, almost kind of in the good side. So I do think they have. I think Carson Wentz is playing on borrowed time. I think it's about time that at some point his knees are just gonna give up. The guy's body is just gonna give up. So yeah, no, I'll take it. I'll agree with you guys. Let's go for Miami -2.5 at home, and we'll see if that baits. You know, Will Fuller, I'm assuming, is good to go.
He's good to go. Yeah, so that's probably his first real game probably back, because he had 2 games. He was just coming into it. You know, it's his first 2 games after having those issues. So, and Jalen Waddle too. Pretty decent rookie right there. So yeah, let's move on.
All right, let's move on. I'm gonna skip this one for now. NFC North. I am gonna jump into Giants Saints first. Saints -7 at New Orleans. I'll give it a go. I think. I think this is actually a tougher one than I would think. I'm not saying that the Giants are the craziest team of all. But -7 is still quite a big one, especially to rely on Jameis Winston. The fact that they're at home still pushes me to go towards New Orleans. I do think they're going to take the game, but I just don't know what Daniel Jones we're going to get, what Saquon Barkley we're going to get. Sterling Shepard is out. I think Darius Slayton is also out.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of people.
So based on that alone, I think at home, I'll go with a -7 for the Saints.
Yeah, I think you have to go -7 Saints here. Alvin Kamara is looking good. They had that real stinker of a game after beating Packers, but came back last week pretty solid. I I think Giants, if they won a game yet.
No. 0-3. The closest they were was to the Falcons last week, and
They
I
lost
think
to the Falcons.
went to overtime.
That's a statement in
It
itself.
was a
Are they
close
really
game.
0-3?
So
Yeah, they are.
I can't remember them winning. I know Sterling Shepard is having the time of his life right now. I mean, fantasy-wise, but he's out, and then Darius Slayton, he's out. Saquon Barkley is still obviously probably limited. I would say he hasn't had a game where he's had those like 25 carries and 10 receptions. He's still fairly limited. So
Yeah, but Devin Booker is out, so they're gonna keep using him. So
they are, but I mean, it's at their own peril. I mean, if you really want to
absolutely.
stress him,
saying.
do it.
Yeah.
But it's this. I think that you can only go one way, and I think it's the Saints.
Mark, do you agree?
No, 100%. I mean, I actually think the Giants are abysmal. Like last week when I quickly came on the stream and we did Falcons Giants, I was like, you guys picked the Giants, and I was so surprised because they are awful. Like they have nothing. They have nothing. And I mean, at the end of the day, the Saints still have Sean Payton, one of the better coaches in the league, right? Like even if it's kind of like a mini Belichick in the sense, like even if he's not going to have the best players, which he actually some of them are. Like you have Cameron Jordan, you still have Alvin Kamara. Jameis is not too bad. Like he'll make them even better, right? Even better than what we think. So to me, simple spread. Even if it's a -7, I'm taking it.
Okay. Second to last game of the 1 p.m.s, we got the Washington football team against the Atlanta Falcons. Washington
This
favorite
sucks,
with -2. This one sucks.
This is the worst. If you watch this game, you have something wrong with you. Like this is a stinker.
Such boring. But hey, to be fair, Bengals Jaguars didn't sound like it's gonna be that great. It ended up being one of the best.
That
games
sounds
of the
way
season.
better than Falcons Washington
The thing
because
is-
Bengals
yeah,
look
but the thing
good.
is- Yeah, I know. I mean, we're probably not going to talk about the Bengals much today, but I'm liking that game. And I'm sorry, that team, and I'm liking where the team is going. It's a young team. It's going places. I think the Bengals are going to be sticking around for a few years. But going back, Washington football against Falcons. I honestly, guys, I do not know what to do here. This feels like a toss, like flip a coin here. I don't know what Matt Ryan we're going to expect. I don't know what Heineke we're going to expect. I don't know what defense from Washington we're going to expect.
Yeah, they were bad.
It could be Chase Young is just going to like destroy Matt Ryan, or Matt Ryan is just going to pound it into Calvin Ridley, 10 receptions plus. That might actually be a nice player prop for me. I'll take a look at Calvin Ridley and see what his receptions are.
Yeah. Also look at Kyle Pitts as well.
Yeah. But I don't know what to do here. I feel like just because of the underdog spread, the plus, I would take the Falcons here. But then again, it's just +2. So I'm not locking it in. I want to hear your thoughts first.
I'm taking Atlanta +2.5. They have we say this every week. They have the weapons. Like they should not be this bad of a team. It was not that long ago. This Falcons team were in the Super Bowl. They blew that lead to the Patriots.
Never forget.
But this team should not be that bad. And Washington have a backup quarterback, a good one at that. But they have Terry McLaurin and they do have Gibson. I think Gibson is out today though. I did see something on Twitter this morning.
Oh, I'm so
I don't
sorry,
know.
Omar. I'm so sorry, Omar.
I saw something about Gibson either being a game time decision or something.
I think he's game time. Decision.
Well,
Yeah,
game time is about 40 minutes.
That doesn't sound good to me.
This is active.
He's listed as active. Okay.
As on Flea Flicker like news.
I always feel like if you are this close to a game time decision, you're not that healthy. Like if you're not listed as okay to go on Thursday or Friday, something is off there. And Antonio Gibson has not been great by any stretch of the imagination. He has not been a top 10 running back probably.
Not to his own fault though.
I would no. I'm not saying that, but still, you have to play. I mean, Saquon Barkley is playing better, and he's in an even worse situation, I would say.
That's true.
So I'm just going off of Falcons just on players that are more likely to make the plays, I guess. I mean, Terry McLaurin's amazing, but I think Washington struggle in this game.
And do they have Curtis Samuel? I think they have Curtis
They,
Samuel.
he is back, but also he is just back from off of IR, had COVID, had injury issues. I don't know how much he's going to play. His projection is pretty low. So, I mean, that's good for them, though. If they get him involved in the offense, that's really, really helpful, but just don't see it happening.
Okay, so are we locking it in, Omar? Are you agreeing with the +2 Falcons?
Yeah. I mean, fun fact: Peterson, whatever, is ranked number 10.
Yeah, that's insane.
Running back in the
Really?
the league right now.
Yeah.
Number 10.
That's
Antonio
Rushing
Gibson
yards?
in fantasy points combined. Antonio Gibson, what's his rank? 17.
That's not too bad.
Oh,
I thought he was a
bad,
bit worse
yeah.
than that, but yeah, I knew he was in
Two.
top 10.
I heard 7. I was like, are you going 70?
No. The only thing that saved, to be fair, the only thing that saved him is because last week he caught a touchdown. He caught it and then he didn't score. Did he score? I think he did. He caught it and then he scored it.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing that really boosted his points. If it wasn't for that one play, he would be easily in the 30s.
His only problem, fantasy-wise, is J.D. McKissick. That's literally it.
And JD
Yeah.
is the pass
Only-
catcher as well.
Yeah,
He
that's
is
why.
a huge
It's the
pass
only
catcher.
problem.
So.
But even if you have J.D. McKissick, what a headache of a player to have.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure I play him very often unless I had
I
to.
trade him off immediately.
Yeah.
Get the value out of it. All right, and so we're locking in +2.0.
Yeah.
Last 1 p.m. game. I know we're gonna have some conversations here because we've talked about this game before, and I think this is gonna be a 2-1. It'll come down to majority pick anyway. But this is Detroit Lions against Chicago in Chicago, -3, so it's for the field goal. Do we know what quarterback starts?
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields?
He is the starter.
I
Yeah.
like that.
Oh, yeah?
It'll push me. I think this is gonna be a redemption game. I think Nagy has to do something other than nag Justin Fields. Haha. Yeah, that's horrible. I'll show myself up. But I do think. I don't know. I look. The defense from Chicago has been doing well. Just they haven't been able to score. And honestly, no blame at Justin Fields. I think he was left to alone. I don't know if you guys watched ever my favorite movie, Longest Yard, with the Mean Machine. Towards the end, where like the prisoners kind of like they realized that Adam Sandler, kind of like sold them out, so they just let all of them just sack the hell out of him. I think that's exactly what was happening. Let's just show Justin Fields how this is.
Yeah.
Sure.
Obviously not, but I think they do have the weapons. I think they do have the defense. I think with Allen Robinson up there, I think it's a great pass catcher for Justin Fields, and Justin Fields just needs to show up. And I think at home, this is the best division game. I think this is where it's happening. Lions, with their luck that they've had so far, I just don't see it turning around. So I'll take Chicago +3, but I have a feeling I'm going to regret it. Omar, let's start with you because I know you're going for the Lions here.
For sure. I mean, look at the 3 games that the Lions played, right? They played the 49ers, which I know they play ugly football, but it's still effective football, right? They played the Packers, who, like, they had just lost the week before. Aaron Rodgers wanted to make a statement, gunslinging, right? And even then, for the 49ers, they were only 8 points away. And with the Ravens, they're only 2 points away. They lost by literally a miracle field goal, literally a new record. To me, this, as I think we were talking about it before, if the Lions were to win a game this season, this would be it, right? Or if this was to be their catalyst for winning, this is the game for it. I think, regardless of the talent that you have a quarterback, if the coach is underwhelming, the team will be underwhelming. Look at the Jets last year. They had Gase, they had Sam Darnold, who before coming to the league was well touted, right? I mean, he wasn't top tier, but everyone thought he was good, and they just sucked way more than people thought, way more than Sam Darnold's talent would justify. And so, I mean, unless you think Justin Fields is some like God tier sent Patrick Mahomes who's gonna like hear a play from Matt Nagy and be like, no, I got this, and like completely do his own plays, I see this as a Lions win. And what's the spread? I mean, I'm going Lions win regardless, but what's the spread? -3?
-3, yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. I'm taking Lions. Banging down.
+3 for the Lions. Yeah.
I'll start. Oh, even better. Yeah, Lions. Lions all the way. Dan?
As someone who watched Justin Fields for 2 years in college, I'm going Justin Fields, going Chicago Bears -3. I believe in him. I just don't know whether it's they're play calling for him or play calling for Andy Dalton, who's sitting on the bench. Who knows? But yeah.
But if anything, that's even more justification that the coach is awful. Like, if he hasn't adjusted his game plan at all to Justin Fields,
Let's see the second week. I don't know if last week was like a game time decision. They didn't have enough time to organize for Justin Fields. They've had an entire week this week, so see if anything changed. It's very risky. This game's very risky, but
last week it was because Dan and I were against we're not agreeing with Bengals Steelers, so I did 0-1 with the Steelers and 0-1 with the Bengals. So we'll have two different. This will be your kind of like lock in. So we'll do one with Lions, one with Bears, and we'll see where that goes if we become rich. I just noticed that on top of having my free bets, I have a plus 40% bonus in my earnings.
Nice.
There we go. Let's get some money.
All right. So we got Seahawks 49ers. Oof. First of all, we have amazing division games here, and NFC West, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Seahawks against 49ers and the Cardinals against the Rams. So these
games are
basically
lit.
the week. These games are lit, and these are the weeks that we're gonna know who is the better team. We all know that the Rams are the better team right now, but we'll see if the Cardinals can actually show up. On the other side of the spectrum, we got the two worst teams in that division. We'll see which one shows up. Not that they're bad teams. I mean, 49ers aren't looking that pretty, but
North Seattle though.
2-1. Still 2-1.
Yeah.
So let's start with your team, Omar, and let's hear your thoughts first. So we have 49ers with minus 2.5, favorite to win at home. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm taking that. I mean, Levi Stadium is a beautiful stadium. The fans there are fantastic, and I mean, 49ers at the end of the day have been winning games, and if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers being Aaron Rodgers, they would be 3-0, right? If they had that lead against, I'd say, any other quarterback, maybe aside from Tom Brady, that game would have been the 49ers win. I think the Seahawks, I don't know, man. The Seahawks, when you watch them, you don't feel they have an identity. Like, tell me what direction is that team going? Like, for example, Gabo, you were telling me about the Bengals. You very much can clearly see the ethos and the direction that team is heading towards. With the Seahawks, they don't have an identity. They have no clue. You don't know if they're a running team, they're a passing team, they're the spread, they're the deep ball. They have nothing affiliated with them. And I think that chaos is going to continue. I don't know what's happening there. And yeah, so 49ers -3, I'll take that.
I think.
Oh, sorry, Gabo.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, 49ers for sure. They only lost because of Aaron Rodgers, like you said. They've won every other game. Seahawks look so iffy. They just look like they have so much offensive firepower, but it's so easy to score against them. They're just struggling defensively. And, they're at some point they're going to struggle against this 49ers defense to score. Let's just see if the 49ers can actually score. I think that's their kind of like issue at the moment, is actually scoring. They just don't look that... The 49ers are a weird team. It's like they're good and they have a good record, but they just look weird on offense. Like they just don't look like a high-power offense, but they're winning games. So let's see what happens. I still think they win through defense. So yeah, -2.5 is good.
I agree. I think it's at home. I think the Seahawks, like you said, if you're talking about an identity, I think the identity is this: Russell Wilson and Tyler Lockett. That's it. So they haven't really faced a defense that's going to push them in the air game, and I think the 49ers are coming in swinging. So we'll see what happens there. But, -2.5 for the field goal. I think 49ers have what it takes if they don't choke again. Seahawks have choked, 49ers have choked, so these are two chokers going up against each other.
We didn't choke. Literally, Aaron Rodgers, man.
You guys they shouldn't have run it down. Packers, we had no timeouts. Why did they score so quick? No idea.
Anyways, let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's carry on. We got 49ers at -2.5. Let's move on to this banger of a game, Cardinals-Rams. Rams have had two back-to-back amazing games. For us to watch. I mean, Buccaneers and Rams was an amazing game. I feel like if you want to bet again on passing yards here, over 600 yards between both.
That's a lot.
Do it. But yeah, what a banger. I just don't see the Rams losing this game. It'll be a banger of a game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have much to say. It's -3.5. I don't think this game is gonna be. Actually, this game could be close. God damn.
I think Kyler Murray makes too many mistakes. Like we saw it against the Jags when he threw the interception and let the Jags go. I think they were up 14-0 before he made a very good comeback in the second half. Rams are not going to be making those mistakes, and they're probably the toughest defense he's going to come up against in the NFL. Hasn't come up against a defense quite like this one. Rams beat the Buccaneers, beat Tom Brady, and I believe the Rams are at home again, right? So everything feels like it's pointing towards the Rams. Arizona, don't get me wrong, incredible team, great defense, great offense. Just feels a bit more raw than what the Rams do. Rams don't make many mistakes. Cardinals seem to make a couple mistakes per game, and if you make mistakes against those Rams, then it's going to hurt you.
Yeah. I mean, I think Dan hit the nail on the head. I do want to say, though, one thing. If you look at the Rams' first 3 games, it was against the Bears with Andy Dalton, who was very immobile. The Colts, where Carson Wentz somehow sprained both ankles at the exact same time.
Impressive.
And then, very impressive. And then the Bucs, right? And with those 3 quarterbacks, you're playing against quarterbacks that are pocket passers, right? So, then you have the luxury of your aggressive defensive line, led by Aaron Donald. Once that pocket collapses, the whole offense crashes, right? And that's why they all of them did well against those teams, at least personally, what I think. On the flip side, Kyler Murray is not a pocket passer, right? He's all about mobility and extending the play. So while I do still think the Rams might win or will win, if you're trying to do specific bets, I wouldn't bet on sacks, because I think the defense has not been tested yet with a mobile quarterback, and like their defensive shutdowns have been against very immobile and much older quarterbacks that don't really move much. So just something to consider,
Yeah. Cool. So what do we think? Easy peasy.
Yeah,
Rams -3.5.
I think you have to, yeah.
Yeah.
-3.5. Perfect. Let's lock it in. We had said also 49ers -2.5, and we have Rams at -3.5. Perfect. We got a few left. We have Pittsburgh Steelers in Lambeau against the Packers. Steelers without Chase Claypool. We have Packers favorites with -6. I'll go ahead and start with my team. I think the Steelers have any gas right now. I think they could solve everything. I do think Najee Harris could have a good, nice game. Fantasy pop him in. I think our run defense is not the best. But, I just don't see any gas. And at Lambeau Field, it'll be really tough for the Steelers to score. I think our defense is, I'm not saying it's the best by any means or top 10 by any means, but I think it is underrated. And with Big Ben doing the mistakes that he usually has, I know I said I would stay away from betting interceptions, but if I were to do it again, this would be the one here. I would definitely put a plus +1. Honestly.
Yeah.
So I'll take the -6 on Packers. I know the spread is a little big to my taste based on how the Packers have won lately, but I'll still take the -6 on the Packers. I just don't see Big Ben scoring much.
Yeah, on my sports book it's -5.5, so it's even a little bit better for the the Steelers technically, but for betting on the Packers, the Packers are going to win. The Steelers are a complete mess. I don't trust them at all. It's at Lambeau. Packers are in form. Steelers are just plummeting, completely crashing at the moment. This is going to be a win for the Packers, -5.5 or -6.
100%, yeah. Nothing to add. I don't want to. Yeah, nothing to add. I think you guys hit the nail on the head.
Cool. Let's move on to. This is an interesting one. We got the Ravens against the undefeated Broncos in Denver, -1. Again, this is pretty much just a money line pick. I'm quite shocked. It does kind of seem like they're just basing it off on the latest scores, but not really who they've played against. Not to say that the Ravens are playing well. But let's just face it, the Broncos have had quite an easy schedule. So this is their first time to show up. I wouldn't put him past them, honestly, especially not at home. Then again, I don't see them beating the Ravens. I don't see Lamar Jackson losing to the Broncos. And if we're looking at a spread of -1 money line, I'll put my money on Lamar. What do you guys think?
I'm going Broncos -1.5. I think they have the better defense. I think they have the less erratic quarterback. I think they have the better running backs. I think they have the better wide receivers. Hollywood Browns dropped like 8 passes. They could have won by about 30 points. They have absolutely crushed the opposition. They're flying high, and not also to mention they're playing in Denver, which is like one of the hardest places to go to because of the altitude. Taking Denver Broncos.
Wow. Okay, Omar looks like he's agreeing with them.
100%. 100%. I mean, even regardless of spread, money line, whatever. I think teams like the Chiefs and like the Ravens, their system has not underwent any change or evolution from last year, right? So defensive coordinators have had literally a full offseason to really understand and absorb what makes these offensive systems work and what it doesn't. And because they were so cocky, I think it is an element of arrogance, because they were so cocky from last year thinking, oh yeah, we're doing so well, like we're unstoppable, this and that. Their schemes have not underwent any plan B, any evolution whatsoever. And I think, unless the Ravens radically change from one week to the next, and to be honest, I don't think they will, because they've won off the Lions and they will be like coming out on a high, whatnot. I don't know. The Broncos just seem, as Dan was saying, good defense, good offense, well-rounded, very well structured. Like, not going to be flashy or sporadic, but kind of like it's a nicer version of the 49ers where they will just get the job done, right? But I think they're actually, their football is a bit nicer to watch than the 49ers currently, and I'm a 49er. So, I'm picking Broncos.
You shocked there, Gabo.
Yeah, I'm looking at some player bets for receptions for the Broncos. I'm trying to see Cortland Sutton 4.5, Tim Patrick 3.5. Tim Patrick 3.5 looks spicy.
Yeah, I'll go Cortland Sutton though. Cortland Sutton, I think, is gonna have a big game. I think Cortland Sutton, or even Noah Fant as well.
Man, if I go Cortland Sutton and he
does the same. You can't cash out this time. You gotta ride through it.
I gotta stick through it. Yeah, but I don't know if I'm putting Tim Patrick is better odds, and it's one less reception.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So I think it's a bit safer there. All right, last two. We have 20 minutes to go. I know Omar has to leave in about 5 minutes, so let's run through these so we can put the bets right in before. We got Tampa Bay Buccaneers against New England Patriots. What a night game. Sad that Gronk is not playing. Super, super sad. But I don't know if you guys saw how Brady was received at the airport, at the bus. He's being loved, obviously. I mean, who wouldn't? But this is a game where Tom Brady's telling Bill Belichick it was the quarterback all along, not the coach.
Yeah.
So -6.5 Tampa Bay. I think this is gonna be 20+ score.
-6.5. Mine's -5.5. So even I think my sportsbook's better. I'm getting all these better odds than you.
Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
-6.5. I think it is adjusting though. So as we go, it might be adjusting.
Might be.
Okay, so -6.5 Tampa Bay. Real quick, nothing to add.
-6.5. You can't. Tom is going to throw for like 6,000 yards. He's going to crush them.
Has nothing.
He's going to crush them.
Perfect. And last but not least, Monday Night Football. We have Raiders, Chargers.
This one's
+3, -3. I think in LA, I think Raiders have shown a lot of weaknesses over the last few weeks. I do think the Chargers are the better team. I think they are the better defense and the better offense.
Yeah.
So I'll just keep it quick. I do think the Chargers at home will take that win and give the Raiders their first win. This has turned out to be a great division after all. Loving it, having the Chiefs at the bottom. So we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But I do think LA takes the -3.
I 100% agree. Nothing to add.
You taking the Raiders?
Yeah, baby, Raider Nation, let's go. Look, I think. For some reason, Justin Herbert loves playing against the Chiefs. Like even remember when Tyrod Taylor like got punctured his lung, and like Justin Herbert had to start. It was against the Chiefs, and like he like balled out. He barely lost that game. Or did he beat them? I think he just barely lost. But anyways, he played really well. I think the Raiders, as you said, they've shown some weaknesses over the past week or so. And I think the Dolphins showed a lot of that. But I think because Gruden is such a good coach, he's going to iron those out quick. He is such a tough, like, hard-hitting coach. Like, he's not going to care. And so, I think the Raiders just have that aggressive mentality, which he has, right? Which is like, we're going to win no matter what. So I'm going Raiders.
Yeah, I feel as though this is like the first like real competent team they're facing though. Like the Steelers completely suck. They only won by 9. The Ravens were all over the place. They did win by 6 in overtime. They only just scraped through against the Dolphins by 3 points again in overtime. So they played two out of their 3 games have been in overtime. Chargers are very different compared to all of those teams. I feel like they're almost like a better, more polished version of all of those teams. So yeah, I think I gotta go with the Chargers here.
Okay, cool. That's 2-1 Chargers. Let's book it in.
What's the final odds on that?
Final odds are 1 for every dollar we get $16,070 plus a 70% bonus that I have.
70?
Shit. 70% bonus. So with $1, I would get $27,000 instead.
It's worth $1, man. It's worth $1.
Worth $1. With that in mind, Omar, would you like to cash in $1 for this too?
You know what? Why not?
Let's do this. So I'll put $2. That means we have $54,600 to make out of this.
We're going to Vegas, baby, and we're going to lose all that money in Vegas.
Baby.
Oh yeah, boy.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah. Sweet. That was good.
Perfect. And I'm going to do one with the Lions. Spread real quick.
Oh.
You also want to put $1 for that?
For the Lions, no, I'll pass.
I'll do it. Omar, do you want or no?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
Not enough faith in them.
All right. So
let me put it this way: I was very close to putting Detroit Lions plus 8.5 in my parlay today. I just didn't have the balls to do it, so I took them out. That's how little faith there is in them. So, yeah.
Okay. And last but not least for me, I mean, Omar, I know you have to head out, so if you gotta leave, that is okay.
Great to see you guys.
Yeah, thanks for joining, man. That was good.
We have 15 more minutes till kickoff. And I have this. Dan, I have Calvin Ridley, 6.5 receptions over. Cardinals, Rams, over 47.5 points total. Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking the money line. Tim Patrick, over 3.5. And your favorite boy, Odell Beckham Jr., over 4.5. I think they will be behind. From behind and
I think
receptions.
He was surprisingly good last week. He made me eat my words for sure. I think that's a good bet, especially with I guess Landry's still out, so I haven't heard anything. Otherwise, I think he's still in IR. So yeah, I think that's a pretty solid. How much is that?
That's I just put. I think it's 10 to 1.
10 to 1. That's not bad.
Yeah, so I put $5, I think.
Those are all 1 p.m. games. Or is there some 4 p.m.?
Well, we have Tampa Bay at night.
Oh, okay.
And then we have Cardinals at 4. And then we have, for 1 p.m., we have, and also Broncos at 4. So for 1 p.m., I have 2 games. So it's basically 2 games for 1, 2 games for 4 p.m., and then the last game.
Yeah.
So this will be a bet that I'll be enjoying over. So first, I need to make sure that Odell makes more than 5 catches or more, and that Calvin really gets, that's going to be the tougher one, 7 receptions or more. But I think it's easy. I think Calvin really has.
They can't. The Falcons can't run the ball against that defense. There's no way you can allow Chase Young and all those guys up front. You got to pass the ball.
Exactly. So I think it's doable. We'll see. I do have another $10 free bet, but it seems that I can only put it on 1 bet, so I can only double it. So I can't
Do you want to?
Looks like I can't.
Do you want to help me with a FanDuel quickly? We can do a quick FanDuel fantasy contest.
Oh yeah, and DraftKings, dude. We have 15 minutes to do a DraftKings as well. I mean, I guess that would be the same, right?
Well, mine's more like actually picking like the play. You have like a salary and you pick the players. We can do that. We can do that next week. We can do it together. You want to do my one?
I mean, we can do it together. I can do it for here as well. Unless you want to do tiers real quick.
Do tiers. Let's do tiers. Let's do tiers real quick because that takes no time at all, and I'll get this ready.
Right, let's do the 13 games for today. We'll get. Sadly, it's a bit too late for big money, but
it's okay.
I'll join for this. There's one more entry. Let me reserve it real quick. Perfect. And then we'll take it now. Okay, tier 1. We got Kyler Murray, Pat Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen.
I think you gotta go Matthew Stafford. Yeah, I think so.
Okay, easy peasy. Cooper Kupp, Derrick Henry, Travis Kelce, Devontae Adams, and Alvin Kamara. Oh my goodness, Derrick Henry, I think.
Yeah, you got to go Derrick Henry every time he's available. Yeah. Okay, especially
right.
with Julio and AJ out, you gotta.
Yeah. All right, we got Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, forgot his name, DeAndre Hopkins, Stephon Diggs.
It may be worth going Tyreek Hill because he had such a stinker last week. I feel like he's gonna come back.
I thought the same thing that he was gonna have a comeback.
Yeah.
Can you believe he's actually the ranked against the best defense in against the air? Apparently, the Eagles have the best air defense.
Really? Can't believe that.
I mean, but that's only based on points.
Yeah.
Allowed.
Yeah.
So, all right, tier 4. We got Tyler Lockett, who appears to be questionable. Adam Thielen, DJ Moore, Najee Harris, DK Metcalf, Nick Chubb.
I might be tempted to go DJ Moore. He's been getting more receptions than anyone on that offense, and they're against Dallas. I think that's going to be more of a shootout than people expect. I would kind of lean towards DJ Moore, to be honest.
I like that. I like DJ Moore and Najee Harris here. I think Najee's going to have a
maybe Najee as well, just because when the Steelers are down, even though Big Ben doesn't throw that much, he loves to check down pass and allow him to run. So I would actually go Najee.
I was going to say Najee. I know our run defense is not the best.
Yeah.
So they will pass it to him and see what he can do.
Yeah.
All right, quarterbacks. We have Kirk Cousins, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, and Aaron Rodgers. I like Prescott here at home.
I do as well.
I also like Kirk Cousins at home against Cleveland. And
Don't think you
Russell
could go
Wilson.
wrong. Don't think you can go wrong with these guys. I would go Kirk just because he's the highest graded quarterback. Let's believe in him. Get that win today.
Yeah, let's have something to pray to.
Someone in our chat's asking Chargers D or Panthers D. I'm gonna go Chargers. I think.
Really?
For fantasy.
Monday night?
I think so, just because I think the Cowboys game is going to be very much high scoring.
Logan, do you have any other options in the waivers? I think
that's true, but I would lean towards the Chargers there, for sure.
I think you gotta do a coin toss. I think you're right. I think it's highly possible that in Monday night games the crazy stuff happens and Derek Carr is exposed. So
and also especially if you're in one of those leagues where you get a certain amount of points if your defense only allows like 10 or less or 20 or less. Like the Chargers games are always kind of quite low scoring. They always seem to hold teams very, very close and very, very low. Whereas the Cowboys can quite often, they don't mind you scoring because they got a great offense coming back on the field to then go score again. So I think, the Panthers defense there might have a tough time stopping.
Bear in mind, I do agree that if you have any other options, I would explore those real quick. Yeah. I mean, if you have those if you have both of those in your lineup because you want to keep them for later, for later contests, then I agree. First of all, I don't recommend keeping two defenses like that for more than a week. But if you had to pick between those two, I would say Chargers. If not, I would drop the Panthers. I know they have a very tough schedule coming on. So I would drop the Panthers and pick somebody else up that might be on the waivers. Probably Titans aren't there, but Miami might be there. What else can I think of here? Chiefs might be there. Lions or Bears. Bears probably they're not there. Who else? I think that's it. So yeah, good luck with that. Moving on, we got tier 6. We got Brandon Cooks, CeeDee Lamb, Terry McLaurin, Ezekiel Elliott, Calvin Ridley, and Saquon Barkley.
I'm tempted to go either Brandon Cooks or Ezekiel Elliott. Brandon's always going to get those targets because he is one of the few guys on the Texans offense who can actually catch the ball. Everyone else is on injured reserve. Ezekiel Elliott had a massive game last week. Can he replicate that? Who knows? I would pick between the two. Maybe Ezekiel Elliott, just because he's both pass catching and a running back, and he seems to get a lot of the goal line opportunities recently. Coming off a hot game too at home, I'm feeling Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay. I'm also between those two, Brandon Cooks and Elliott. Brandon Cooks because he's been having, like you said, a ton of receptions.
Yeah.
Over 9 usually in the last contest. Terry McLaurin might be a good one too, but the only thing that scares me with Elliott is because he had a good game, whether they're going to do the typical, let's just give Tom Pollard a game, since Tom Pollard had it before. Yeah. So, you know what? Let's stick to what won us the first time. Running backs win.
Yeah, exactly.
Stick
to the running backs.
All right, we got Chuba Hubbard, Antonio Gibson, David Montgomery, Odell Beckham Jr., Chris Carson, DeAndre Swift, and Deebo Samuel. I think the only one really that calls my attention here is Hubbard, actually, for the week.
Me too.
Maybe Montgomery against Detroit. Actually, David Montgomery against Detroit is not bad. I know Aaron Jones cooked them.
That's good. That's good, David Montgomery. I like that because they didn't use David Montgomery when they got smoked against the Browns, and the Browns obviously front line are really, really good. That's good. David Montgomery probably gonna be pretty fresh. Didn't get used that much. I think David Montgomery is a good choice.
Okay, perfect. And last but not least, we have Marquise Butterfingers Brown, TJ Hawkinson, Chase Edmonds, Claypool and Jones are in this tier, but they're all out. Edwards-Helaire, George Kittle. Is George Kittle playing?
Yeah, I think so.
And Jonathan Taylor against Miami. Pure volume, I like Jonathan Taylor here.
Me too. I would go either Kittle or Jonathan Tayller. The rest kind of spook me a little bit. Even TJ.
What about TJ Hawkinson? Oh yeah.
I'm not too. I think he's ranked number 3 not running back, tight end, but I feel like Jonathan Taylor. If they want to win a game, they got to go through Jonathan Taylor at some point. He is really, really
I'm done with Taylor.
Running back. So we've got someone in the chat. Lark is asking Washington D or Cowboys D. Who I would probably go.
I picked up. Yeah, I picked up Cowboys. I picked up the Cowboys defense at home. We saw what the defense can do at home against the Eagles. Bear in mind, the Eagles were a much horrible team.
Yeah.
But Washington D is against. How are they against?
Atlanta.
Atlanta. Oh, okay.
So they do. So the Cowboys do have that guy Trayvon Diggs, who has had an interception in his last 3 games, including 1 touchdown, I believe, which makes me kind of want to lean towards the Cowboys defense. Let's not remember, this is still Sam Darnold, although it's a fairly different Sam Darnold. This is the first time the Panthers have come up against someone who is tough, a defense that is pretty competent. I think Sam Darnold threw an interception against the Texans as well. I'm thinking more towards Cowboys, but then again, Washington stunk last week, which is why I'm not too sure on them. Remember, they do have Matt Ryan throwing to them or against them. I think you could go wrong with this pick. It's whatever your preference is. Personally, I would probably pick up. I think I would go Washington just because Atlanta stink. Again, it depends on those leagues. If you have those leagues where they give you bonus points for keeping it under 10 points or 20 points, then I'd probably lean towards Washington. If that's not the case and it's purely on sacks, fumbles, interceptions, then I'd probably go Cowboys defense.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. I'm picking Cowboys no matter what. I know I picked them up in one of my leagues to stream. I actually dropped the 49ers because they were giving me a headache.
Yeah.
and got the Cowboys for this week. I think Carolina is they're undefeated. That's great. But I think a huge part of that is obviously Christian McCaffrey, and I don't think Hubbard is going to step up to that plate. So I think there's a big chance for the Cowboys beating at home. And bear in mind, Cowboys are playing with a full stadium at home, second time. It's just poised for success.
Yeah.
So I definitely pick on the Cowboys there.
Lark's also asking David Johnson or McNichols, sorry.
Because that's the wide receiver for Titans, no?
Right, yeah. I think I would go McNichols just because everyone seems to be injured on the Titans. David Johnson is in a running back room, which is absolutely filled to the brim with running backs, and he's just not getting as many opportunities as he probably should be getting in the Texans. I would take a punt and go McNichols just because they can't. The Titans simply can't run Derrick Henry every single time. He's going to get tired.
That's true.
He could get injured. I would go McNichols. I think he's going to get quite a workload. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a couple of, like, 2 running back sets to kind of like fake to Derrick Henry and pass it off to McNichols or check down to him. I would take the risk on that because I don't think the ceiling for David Johnson's very high. But the ceiling for McNichols could be pretty big if they get a lot of
I'll put it this way. I agree with you. I'll put it this way. When's the best time that you want to play a running back? When you're ahead. And in these 2 case scenarios, we know that the Houston are going to be trailing against the Bills. So they're going to be passing it quite a bit.
Yep.
So they're not going to rely on the running game. And if they do rely on the running game,
definitely
have 3 people to pick on.
Yeah.
On the other hand, we have a team that we know they're supposed to lead the game halfway, like the whole time. And as you said it yourself, at some point they're gonna have to, sit down Derrick Henry and be like, okay, we're winning by a lot. It's okay. Take a rest. We'll see you again next week.
Yeah, I would be surprised if Derrick Henry comes out third quarter and it's the McNicholas show or McNichols. I don't know why I keep calling him McNicholas. McNicholas show. Because you don't want him to be injured against the Jets. You want to get out to that 14 or 21-0 lead and then sit Derrick Henry, get those backups in. Look, Jets aren't really going to score probably, so let's see what happens, but I would definitely go McNichols. I hope that answers your question. That was probably a more definitive answer than the defense one.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else? We got 2 minutes. 2 minutes before kickoff.
So I'm thinking this is what I'm going to do. I have my free $10 bets. I can only put on one thing. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one game at 1 p.m., put the $10 bet.
Yep.
If I win, I'll pick another and put all those winnings for the 4 p.m. And if I win, for the last one.
Okay.
And I'll just do spread. So I have Dallas Cowboys minus 4.5 for $10 to win.
That's one you're going for? Holy, that's risky. I would go Tennessee Titans, man. You don't think they're going to blow out? You don't think they're going to blow out?
Fine.
No. Go for where you're comfortable. I'm just saying personally, I would go for.
It's too late. It's too late. No, because I do. I think the only reason, logically, I should have gone for the Titans. I have them in my Survivor League, so if everything goes wrong, then
bro, I've said that my lock of the week. You put them in Survivor. This is not like a recipe for success here. This is gonna be like backfire on us both.
Honestly, we should put money line on the Jets.
Honestly, yeah. Jeez.
All right, I'm putting all my money, $60 on that. And Lark, no worries. We got you. If you have any more questions for the later games, you can always just hit us on Instagram. Obviously, we're not the messiahs, but I will tell you, we've been doing really well with our picks and bets for games. Dan here has a great success in picking games. I actually was one interception away from making $300 out of $10 for the Bengals game because
that was
Joe
so
Burrow's.
tough.
That was so rough. It was. God. I did 5 for 6. I said I think it was Jamar Chase over 70.5 yards. Tyler Boyd 5.5 receptions. A ton of stuff, and then the one thing that didn't happen was Joe Burrow with an interception. So.
Yeah. All right, it's 1 p.m. It's the beginning of NFL Sunday, baby. I hope everyone enjoys. I hope you all win some money. I hope you all win your fantasy leagues. I hope your teams win. I don't care about my team because they are the Texans and they're going to get absolutely smoked. So I just hope.
You have no.
That's what I like about the Texans right now is I just don't care anymore. I just I'm watching football with no expectations at all. So it's kind of nice.
Funny.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my
cool.
goodness.
All right,
guys. See you, everyone. Like and subscribe. Give us a follow. Check out our socials. We put some bets on TikTok, so keep an eye for that. We started doing that recently.
Yeah.
And guys, enjoy the games. It's fun. It's Sunday football.
Yeah. All right. Peace, guys.
See you, everyone. Peace.